It's not often that a game comes out of seemingly nowhere and blows up the Japanese sales charts, but that's exactly what Suika Game, or Watermelon Game, did. This simple Japanese indie title hit the Nintendo Switch eShop with limited to no fanfare when it released back in December 2021, but it has just recently crossed over 1 million downloads. Now, just what is this game, and should it be on your radar? Well, that's exactly what we're here to talk about. Danny from the Famicast here. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on those notifications. Sound off in the comments down below, and we may read it out on our bi-weekly show called the Famicast. Today, though, we're taking a look at the fun Japanese puzzle game Suika Game, or Watermelon Game, on the Nintendo Switch. Now, for myself and other English-speaking gaming friends I have here in Japan, I think it was a bit of a shock for us to see a pretty random game on the top of the Nintendo Switch eShop download charts. But if you're into VTubers, it might not have been so surprising to you. So this game has been making the rounds on the internet over basically since early September, starting with streamers in Japan, and then extending up to celebrities here, and then mainline news outlets. By October 6th, the parent company Aladdin X announced that the game had reached 1 million downloads on the Nintendo Switch. Now, as for the game itself, it was actually developed by a branch of Aladdin called Pop-In or Poplin. I can't tell if it's an L or an uppercase I there, but the company primarily produces projectors for the Japanese market, as well as a variety of apps and games for these specific products. So before releasing Suika Game, or Watermelon Game, on the Switch, Watermelon Game was created and released on one of their 3-in-1 projectors in October 2021. Now, after receiving positive feedback from customers, the company decided to take a stab at putting the game out on the Switch. Suika Game released on Nintendo's platform on December 9th, 2021. The gameplay in Watermelon Game couldn't be any simpler. All you have to do is move the fruit at the top of the screen and hit A to drop it into this on-screen box. Now, your goal here is to match corresponding fruit with each other. Now, if you do this, they transform into other larger fruit, with the biggest being a watermelon. Now, once the jar is filled up with fruit, it's game over. Your goal is to score as many points as possible by taking out all these fruit. Now, there is this handy dial on the bottom right hand of the screen that lets you know the transformation order of the fruit too. Now, knowing this, or at least paying attention to the on-screen info, can really benefit your play sessions when going for high scores. Now, if you have for example, if you have a grape next to an orange in your box and you have a grape coming up as your next drop, you can drop that directly on the other grape, which will transform into an orange. Now, if you get the trajectory correct on that, or if you get a lucky bounce or something, then this will hit the orange and transform. So yeah, I mean, with so many pieces going into the jar in each play session, you're likely to get some lucky transformations here and there too, which feels very satisfying, I'm not gonna lie. You know, as simple as things are with Watermelon Game, it's actually quite fun. There are even like local system-based leaderboards, as well as some online leaderboards that you can check out too. Now, even with limited knowledge of Japanese, I think Watermelon Game is very accessible as long as you know the basic rules. While the gameplay takes center stage in Watermelon Game, I think visuals and audio are what you would kind of expect from like a cheap mobile-like experience. You know, even with that said, it's a really cute looking game that isn't trying to do anything too crazy visually, which keeps the game running pretty smoothly. The music is also fitting and kind of relaxing. This simplistic, cute aesthetic can appeal to almost anyone, from kids all the way up to adults. Now, my experience with the game has been pretty positive. However, I think the influx of users kind of hampered the online leaderboard system of the game. Now, when playing at peak times, basically evenings, like between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. Japan time, I ran into issues where some of the score upload functions just would take a couple of minutes to update after getting a game over. I mean, it's not like a huge deal or anything, but a bit off-putting when other times it's almost instantaneous. Additionally, the scoreboard resets at about midnight every day. Now, I noticed that while checking out this change in real time, the overall daily scores didn't change there. Moreover, they remained exactly the same a day later. Now, this could be a coincidence, but I kind of doubt it. Again, I think the sheer amount of people playing was not something that developers intended, which leads to these kind of delays and oddities and stuff like that. Hopefully, this is something that they can address in a patch down the line. Watermelon Game is super simple and yet addictive. It's not gonna break the bank either, with the suggested retail price being so low. Again, it's 240 yen, or roughly $1.60 USD right now with the exchange rate. You know, honestly, it might not hold your attention for hours and hours on end, but it's a fun little game to blow through if you're looking for a short, relaxing gaming session. As always, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. If you like what you see, please feel free to drop this one a like. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We've got tons of podcast, video reviews, looks at oddball Japanese games like this, and a whole lot more. Again, this is Danny from the Famicast. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.